Hello, hello. This is the My Artifact episode number 4037, maybe 37, yeah, 38, yeah, 37. Today's date is May 5, 2026. It's been almost like a morning at 8:26 a.m. It's very early morning, and not early morning like I usually record like even more early, like a 7 or 7:30. But the problem is that I did wake up early. It's not only that, but some sort of work is actually happened, so that's why I was recording at this moment. The problem is that at this moment, like basically it's been almost like 8:43. Okay, yeah, it's sorry 8:27 morning at 8:27. It like basically you think that night it's a okay morning, right? But right now it's a May, it's a summer. Okay, yeah, and a morning summer at 8 a.m. literally kind of like a feels like burn. Okay, yeah, like right now I'm kind of like a feeling the heat. Okay, yeah, like almost like a 40 degrees Celsius. Yeah, I'm kind of like a feel that kind of like a something that warmness. Whatever. Okay, so let's just jump into the question. Okay, okay. So question is, how will alter the feel voice change? Okay, yeah, it's a okay. I don't really kind of like give you the proper. Okay, so let me tell you about this question. Okay, I didn't really like. I have to read the question very much properly. Like I didn't really read it properly. I just like how like I understand this question. Then I just yeah, okay. How will alter voice feel natural? Alter feel voice natural. Like what exactly is this question? It's a kind of like a very tricky and things and that and that. So let's talk about that. Okay. So first of all, what exactly is this application? Sorry, what exactly is this question, and why am I asking this question to myself? I wanted to build an app called My Artifact. What exactly is this application? Well, when you wrote the diary every single day, there is a kind of like a lot of problem. Okay, yeah. You can't write the diary the way that you think that you could supposed to be write the diary. Why? Because there is a lot of constraint. Because the way that you think, you can't write the way that you think. Okay, yeah. Like your thinking is actually much more faster than your writing. Okay, yeah. There is also another problem too. When you write, there are so many things are really required: pen, paper, convenience, lot of stuff. Okay, another thing, spelling mistake, and lot of things. And because of these kind of like a constraint will not let you to kind of like express your thoughts very clearly. Okay, yeah. And that's why very less people are kind of like doing a journaling and things and that and that. But what if I could change the technique from writing a journal or writing a diary to recording a diary, like audio recording a diary? I call that artifact. My artifact. The stuff that you are actually hearing, this is my artifact. My artifact episode number 4037. I have been doing this thing for almost like 11 years, and I am doing this thing every single day. And because of this thing, it add so much amount of value in myself that like basically the person that I am today and the person that I will become tomorrow, this is all because of artifact. Okay. And because of I add so much amount of value because of this artifact. I realized that what if I could kind of like share this technicality to the people so that they would supposed to be get the value from the artifact. But how do I supposed to do that? By building an application. Okay, so what exactly is this? So my application is a kind of like a YouTube. Okay, yeah. In the YouTube platform, you could kind of like simply upload your video, other people sees your video. It's a kind of like a same that you record the artifact, other people will kind of like listen your artifact. Okay, it's a audio based platform by the way. Okay, So this is kind of like my application. Okay, there is only one catch. I am actually giving the privacy to the user so that uh, any kind of like a random user will not gonna know who is that particular person and things and that, because kind of like a the username is a kind of like a something is this thing that key alter the kind of like a real name and things and that. Like let's just say my name is Saurabh Bauthare, then my artifact handle name would be Prozac 1943 or Jackson 21 or things and that. Okay, yeah. So because of this kind of like a things, I am actually kind of like a adding privacy to the people. I'm actually giving the privacy to the people. Okay, but I was actually thinking that key, like instead of giving the privacy to the people, what if I could supposed to be give the privacy to the artifact? This would be much more better. I'm actually thinking about that. There is a lot of kind of like a things. Okay, so this is my application. Okay, a kind of like a assembly every day people are kind of like a recording their artifact and people will kind of like a listen those artifact. Okay, I don't know why I'm not really into the mood. I don't know. I was actually thinking about something and I was not actually thinking about the question. Yeah. I don't know why. Today, like, okay, what exactly happened? Why are you not focused? Well, I am not really focused is because of that ki yesterday I kind of like watch a movie named um, Fall Back, Fall Behind. I'm not really sure about this particular name. And not only that, I was kind of like somebody inside in my mind, and I'm just kind of like thinking about all those random shit. I'm not really sure why. I'm not really focused right now. Yeah, come on, let's just focus. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So this is my application. Okay, yeah. Okay, so basically before I wanted to build this application, I wanted to know the all the possible consequences. What kind of like a problem will I face in the future and how do I supposed to solve those problem. So I wanted to aware of all the possible consequences will gonna happen. So I went to ChatGPT. I kind of like tell my idea, tell my application, tell things everything regarding about what exactly my application things and that. ChatGPT kind of like suggests me almost like a hundreds of question for me because I put the prompt that key give me all those possible consequences, what kind of like a problem will I face and things and that. So ChatGPT kind of like suggests me 100 question and this is one of those question. By the way, all those questions actually in the mobile phone, but while recording I can't do this. So I kind of like something record wrote the question in here. Okay, and by the way, this is the book that I'm reading, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Why am I kind of like showing the book? Kind of like a show off that I'm reading a book. Actually I'm reading a book. It's not really that I'm not reading a book, but yeah, show off that I'm reading. Who am I supposed to be show off? Like basically, it's a signal. Let me kind of like tell you. Okay, yeah. The person who is holding a book and reading a book is more trustworthy than person who is not holding a book. That is a true, by the way. That is a true. Okay, because people actually consider that the people who kind of like read the book, they might have kind of like so much amount of knowledge and things, which is true, which is definitely true. Yeah. So yeah, which is like yeah. Stupid shit. All this while I'm kind of like showing the book is because of I'm reading a book. Yeah, I'm kind of like a show off. Fuck. All right. Yeah, I'm doing show off. Yeah, I'm actually reading a book. It's not really that I'm doing show off. I'm actually reading a book. But yeah, like since I'm reading a book, so why not I show off? So, and who do I supposed to show off? Okay, who is actually kind of like probably listen and watching this stupid shit? Well, not now, but in the future there are so many people will gonna watch. Oh my god. Like I was actually thinking that now ki who will be kind of like a listening. I don't know yaar, who are you? Like who are you kind of like a watching this thing? I'm literally kind of like somebody this thing try to understand you that ki why are you kind of like watching this? What is exactly the reason? And basically this thing na, if I upload this video, no one will gonna watch, that is for sure. Okay, yeah. But when I achieve all my things and that, then I was kind of like a question that who will kind of like a, like basically this, who will kind of like a watch those artifact episode. Who are you? Why are you kind of like watching this shit? Um, yeah, why are you watching this shit? Well, wait. uh, okay. All right. Okay. So right now I'm kind of like a really good focus. Okay. Yeah. Question first. Yeah. Why are you and why does kind of like a, you are kind of like watching my video, watching this artifact? Well, basically, is the saying that ki, like artifact is a kind of like a hold such a potential that change the world, change the world literally. Okay. And if something is holding a such a power that could change the world, obviously people wants to know that how is actually happening, how is that thing. And that's why they will kind of like, that's why you are kind of like somebody watching this artifact episode, because the consequences of artifact you will not gonna see like basically from my point of perspective, I'm not gonna see like like basically this thing now, the reason that you are kind of like watching this artifact is because of you are maybe researcher who is kind of like researching about the artifact. You are a kind of like a something that key journalist who are kind of like a researching about me. You might be a kind of like a somebody heartbroken, and probably is this thing you want a kind of like a somebody particular kind of like a solution for that, and you are seeking for this video to, I would supposed to be get some sort of information. Or you might be a kind of like a particular person, maybe a kind of like a simply developer or something that key, how I made this application and how should you supposed to make your application much more better. Okay, yeah. You might be a kind of like a such a person who is a kind of like somebody inspired by what I did in the future, and you wanted to know how I built that thing. Okay, basically is this thing na, and that's the only reason that you are kind of like somebody listening this artifact. Okay, yeah, that's a kind of like a thing. Okay, probably am I that kind of like somebody, am I that particular person that might be like, basically I'm actually thinking about that ki, am I that particular big person? Like my reality is really fucked, by the way. Okay, if you not really understand, I'm 32. Okay, yeah, I am living with my parents, this is my parents home. Okay, I'm kind of like at the rooftop because I don't really have any room. I have a room, but it's not really that key kind of like a worthy enough to kind of like a record the artifact. Okay, yeah, and as also the roof is kind of like actually my territory. Okay, yeah, no one is actually here, and there is a lot of amount of light. Okay, yeah, and there is no one to disturb and things and that. No, there is no judgmental eye over here. So yeah, but I'm 32, I'm broke, I'm not really earning any money, I'm living with my parents. My real life is practicality is a fuck. Okay, yeah. So basically is this thing that key, yeah, and I am trying to achieve such a thing that would kind of like change the world. Do you really think that artifact would change the world? Like basically there is nothing are kind of like a meant to change the world, right? Like, okay, do you really think that artifact would be change the world? Well, I don't know, and I don't want that ki change the world and things and that. Oh yeah, and also I am not the, I don't want to become a responsible person who is kind of like a changing the world. I don't want it to be that guy. Why is that? Because of that na ki, I'm not doing this for, I'm not doing this thing for kind of like a seeking attention. I'm not doing this thing for like a, like basically how good am I? I'm like basically like what I realize that na ki, if I know a way that how should you supposed to be get succeeded, I just wanted to share that how should you supposed to get succeeded. That's the only thing that I wanted to do it. Okay, because this technicality, this artifact, the amount of value it add into me, I wanted to add the same value to you. Okay, yeah. The person that I became today and the person that I will become tomorrow is because of artifact, and I wanted to share that technicality to the people, to you. Okay, yeah. That's the only kind of like a things that I want. Like basically is this thing na ki, like, no, I don't want to be change the world, but if I wanted to add a kind of like a value, maybe little, just 1%, had enough. Had enough. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I know that ki artifact holds such a power that solve so many problems. So many problems. Yeah. And I realize that. But it's like that na ki like I don't know yet. I am not really sure. Okay, yeah. Maybe you are kind of like watching this thing because of something that you want. But there is also another thing that now I am actually thinking about your point of perspective, that ki you are listening to me at the moment. Okay, yeah. That means you really love me, or really inspired me, or really like you are holding so much attention, you are giving me so much attention. That means I means I am a digital person, because in front of you I am a digital. Okay, yeah. Because in the real life I would be kind of like doing something big thing that I might not kind of like do anything at all. Okay, yeah. So basically is this thing na ki like if you are loving something which is only digitally exist, then like digital exists means like that I'm in front of you, I'm real by the way, but you are looking at me, my digital thing. Okay, yeah. You are watching this video. Okay, yeah. It's not AI avatar. No, it's not. I'm not the AI avatar. No, it's a kind of like a thing. Na? You are kind of like simply is this thing. Na? What I was kind of like saying is this thing that if I know that who you are, sorry, if you are a kind of like a particular person and you are looking at me, watching all my artifact and things and that, there are 4,000 of artifact, and in the future there will be more, and you cannot watch all those artifact. Okay, yeah. You cannot listen all those artifact. That is not possible, humanly not possible. Okay, yeah. The only and only way that you are kind of like a listening those artifact or watching those artifact is because of you love me. Okay, yeah. And this is something wrong, because I don't want that people love me that much. Because let me tell you one thing now, then whatever I would gonna say, it would become standardized, it would become kind of like a something that key right, and I don't want, because I am a human and I also can fail too. Okay, yeah. Whatever the stuff I said in the artifact, it's just my thought process, and it's raw, it's unfiltered. I am not really sure that ki what do like did I said something and will it be implemented in real life. Okay, yeah. I'm trying to be, but still is this thing na ki I'm thinking from your point of perspective, that if you are kind of like somebody watching with artifact after artifact, you are kind of like listening this artifact, then this artifact, then this artifact, then this artifact. Probably you did that too. Probably you are kind of like previously you are kind of like a watch almost like maybe hundreds of artifact, and that's why you are kind of like watching this artifact. So basically it's this thing that na ki whatever I will gonna say at the moment, it might gonna impact on you, because you are kind of like believing me so much. It's a let me kind of like explain to you so that you might gonna understand. Okay, yeah. So let's just say kind of like Elon Musk kind of like record a video regarding about that key, how should you supposed to get succeeded and things and that. And right now Elon Musk is kind of like one of the richest person in the world. So if I'm watching his video, then probably I would want it to be become like him in the future. So I would kind of like simply putting a lot of attention on his video, that what he said when he was trying kind of like doing struggling and things and that. And I will kind of like simply completely focus on things that what he said, and I will exactly follow the things and stuff like that. Okay, yeah. And I think that that is wrong. Okay, that is wrong. Because if you are kind of like a particular person who are just watching this artifact after artifact about me, then what exactly is this thing now? I am holding such a position that I might gonna dictate your life. Okay, literally, yeah. I'm not know who you are, but because of this artifact, whatever I said, I will dictate your life. Okay, because you are actually giving me that authority. Okay, to kind of like a listen to me and exactly do this thing and that and that. So do not do not stop this artifact. Do not stop, like do not kind of like watch all those artifacts, because humanly is not possible. That is not. Okay, yeah. I do wrote the book. Okay, yeah. Read my book. This would be kind of like a much more clear way that you could understand. Okay, yeah. Because when you read the book, I kind of like somebody wrote a book in such a way that you would just understand the context. Okay, you will not kind of like see this jibber jabber and things and that and that. Okay, yeah. But when you are watching my video, then you are kind of like somebody consuming everything, na dude. Okay, yeah. What I'm trying to tell you is this thing, na, ki like I will gonna dictate your life. If you are kind of like somebody, you are allowing me to kind of like somebody, like allowing me to like. Do you understand now what I'm trying is this thing? Try to be like basically is this thing now. What I realized that ki if you are not a controlling your life, someone might gonna control your life. Okay, yeah. So important is this thing na ki make your life make your story. Do not just listen my story. Okay, yeah. Because I might be wrong. Okay, I might be wrong. Stuff that I'm saying right now, I don't really understand the kind of like some reality, what will gonna happen, what kind of like a problem do I face, I don't know. But if you are kind of like listening to me right now, that's a problem. That means like that you are not developing your thought process and you are kind of like consuming just my thought process, and I don't want that. Take a break, take a leave. If you wanted to know me, don't know me, yaar. Why do you try to know me? Like, what is exactly that you wanted to get me? Am I doing something like, do you really think that I'm come from the spaceship, come from alien, and you just wanted to know me, that things and that and that? No, I'm legitly born in here. I'm legit a human thing. I do stupid shit. I already record how much shit that I did in my life. Okay, yeah. I am still like other normal human being which is actually born on this planet. Do not give me that much attention. Because if you are giving me that much attention, that much value, then indirectly I am dictating your life. Indirectly, not directly, but indirectly. Okay, yeah. And I don't want that. Just stop it. Okay, yeah. Just stop your pen and pencil. Just stop whatever you are kind of like doing. Just be relaxed. Put on your headphone and kind of like go somewhere else, or create your thoughts, maybe something like that. This would be kind of like a much more better. Okay, do not listen to me. Yeah. Or maybe I'm kind of like a really overconfidence that no one kind of like something listen those artifacts. Oh my god. What if like imagine that I build the artifact. Okay, I build this everything, but the artifact does not work at all. Literally just does not work at all. Then in that situation, what will gonna happen? Oh my god. Well, that is also a really good thing for me. Then who might gonna listen those videos? No one, right? Yeah, so that's good, right? Like basically, yeah. That would be kind of like a much more better. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, like basically I'm not kind of like asking kind of like some question. Okay, let's just give the answer, dude. Yeah, why am I kind of like talking those shit? Okay, the question is that ki, how do I supposed to kind of like somebody that key? Okay, if you not really understand regarding about this question now, okay, so let me kind of like give you. I'm kind of like giving the privacy, okay, to the user. Okay, yeah. Now basically let's just understand that ki if the user they think that ki their their identity will kind of like a simply compromise, okay, by kind of like a simply using their real voice, okay, yeah, this is only and only happen to such a people who are already established, like let's just say Shah Rukh Khan or things and that. Like I don't really think that ki Shah Rukh Khan will kind of like record the artifact, but still is this thing, the person who already established and they think that ki their voice might be kind of like somebody recognized, they have allowed to do voice modulation. In the voice modulation, the kind of like I pitch the voice or kind of like a somebody that ki I change the tone of the voice or kind of like a AI clone voice would be kind of like used to kind of like a somebody replace your voice and things and that. Okay, yeah. But this authority I will not gonna give to the every normal human being, because it's not right for me, not convenient for me actually. Because of that ki I'm not talking about one or two people, I'm talking about kind of like there are so many people and they will kind of like record millions of artifact. So try to do the calculation. If I'm kind of like a voice modeling almost like a millions of artifact per day, it's not really possible for me, okay, yeah. Technical point of perspective, okay, yeah. So obviously it's this thing that ki I will kind of like a simply provide this kind of like a feature for such a people who are legit kind of like a things. And I don't know at the moment, but I might gonna charge some sort of amount of money, because cloning the voice is kind of like a bit more, it takes more processing, it takes more kind of like a things, yeah. That would be kind of like a things, but this is kind of like a things. But another question is that na ki why does successful people will kind of like a record the artifact? Because I think that na ki I build the artifact for such a people who are kind of like a struggling and things and that. Dude, what are you thinking that ki like people who get succeed they shouldn't supposed to be record the artifact? No, they will, but it's not a kind of like a social media platform, okay, yeah. I don't know, dude, at the moment. Right now, my mind is kind of like a really fuck. I am not really sure what do I supposed to say, but still, what I realize that the voice modulation feature is a kind of like a somebody allow for kind of like a such a people who are kind of like a like really they really required that their identity will gonna compromise, yeah. Like if you are the normal people, don't worry about your identity, okay, yeah, nothing really at all. And also is this thing na ki let me tell you one thing, the you think that ki your identity will kind of compromise, okay, yeah. But when you talk in artifact, you talk really good, okay, yeah. And you wanted to attach your real identity with your artifact. That is true, that is definitely true. Because if you're thinking that na ki my thoughts are really raw, really unfiltered, and the people might gonna listen, then things might be kind of like a really chaos will gonna happen and things like that is just your thought process. No one does care about you, no one does, like literally no one does care, dude. Like let me tell you one thing, if you are recording artifact, that means millions of people are also recording artifact. The problem that you are kind of like a facing in your life, millions of people are facing the same problem, okay. It's not really that you are kind of like considered as a kind of like a special and your identity will kind of like compromise. We all are human and we do have a kind of like a same problem, even if the kind of like a somebody the people who are from higher position or lower position just normal at all, nothing really at all, okay, yeah. So basically is this thing now what I realized that na ki artifact is a kind of like a such a thing that you actually solve your life, you actually solve the problem of your life, because you are actually asking this question to yourself, okay, yeah. And when you do that na, the artifact is kind of like a much more productive. You never really wanted to hide that artifact, you wanted to be attached your real identity, because the most of the time you said something which is kind of like a really crazy that you don't know that, oh my god, I said this thing and that is like, oh my god, how amazing was that. And because this is what kind of like happened to me, like when I recorded the artifact, I was kind of like a thing that, oh my god, the stuff that I say is kind of like a really legit, okay, yeah. And I have to be upload those things and that and I don't want to hide my privacy in things, right? So this is what actually happened, okay, yeah. I am actually providing the voice modulation. It's not really that, because some people are kind of like really want that privacy and I wanted to give this thing. But ask this question to yourself, Obviously it's this thing that na, at the beginning people like it's a kind of like people not understand what's the really meaning of artifact. Okay, yeah. When they realize the potential of artifact, what could artifact do in their life, they would kind of like simply realize that ki, there is no worth it to kind of like hide your artifact. Okay, yeah, just tell us like who you are, what you are. All right, but still I will kind of like provide the voice modulation. Okay, yeah, regarding about the voice modulation, the kind of like a thing is that na, ki, how do I supposed to make the voice modulation like as better as possible, like as humanly as possible? Well, that's a technical question. I will try to make it kind of like as humanly as possible, but um, most of the time I might gonna do kind of like a pitching, change the pitch. Okay, change the pitch would be kind of like a much more easier to do this thing, because I will not kind of like a simply adding any kind of like another layer of voice. Whatever the voice layer that it has, I'm just kind of like a change the pitch so that sound should supposed to be kind of like a squishy or things and that, so that other people might not understand your voice. Okay, yeah. Probably because it's a kind of like a much more cheaper way to do this thing. Advanced version would be kind of like a replace the entire track by AI, and that is a bit more kind of like a difficult to do that. Difficult means like that ki I could do that, but for the millions of people will kind of like record the artifact, then processing takes too much amount of time. Okay, yeah. I'm kind of like a changing the entire track, audio track. So yeah. So that's why. Okay. So this is it. I should supposed to be in here. Thank you.